Okay guys, so your second assignment is going to be making your timeline for your topic. So this is not due until April 5th at midnight, okay? Basically what you're doing is you're asked to make a timeline. If you go down on the assignment, it's making a timeline of events, and you're gonna use two different forms of Google Docs that I've sent over to you. So I shared both of them. Remember, when I'm sharing things, you're gonna have to make a copy of it. So let's go into the email. The first thing is make a timeline of events using Google Docs titled My Timeline List. You need to list at least 10 important things that happened to your person, in your location, or during the event you were given. You can also go back into your note-taking sheet. Some of you guys had a good start, but you might want to add a little bit more and include dates. So remember how in the missions we weren't really concerned too much with dates? This one you would need to include a little bit more dates because you're making a timeline as well. So you'd want to go in, add some more notes if you need to. Make sure you're including dates and years. Make sure you're including the years on that. And then use that guide as a guide, to research your topic and also put it into your timeline. Okay, so let's look at where it says timeline of events. So for some of you guys, this might be your first time making a timeline. So let's look at what we're gonna do first. I kind of broke it up into two sections. That's why I gave you 2 weeks to do it. So the first section is going to be going into here. So this is the document I first shared with you. It's called My Timeline List. And if you notice up here, it says template. Okay, so right there it says template. So what you want to do is you want to make a copy of this. Okay, so once again, we're going to go right over here to where it says file. Okay, we'll click on file. We're going to go down to where it says make a copy. Click on make a copy. Okay, and right here, we're going to change the title. So don't press enter or return or else you're going to miss that. If you do, it's okay. I can show you how to fix it. So right here, we're going to delete where it says copy. And we're going to write in, I'm going to do this one for you, Mariana. So I'm in Mariana's email. I always take over hers. You're going to write in your first and also your last name. Okay. So it should say my timeline list and then your name. And you'll just press OK. All right, then it will have your own. So what you're gonna do is you'll keep this one up and then you'll go back up to your tab and make sure you close out my template, because if you start trying to write on the template, you're not gonna have any luck. Okay, so close out template and then you should only be left with yours. Okay, now the second thing you're gonna do so that I can see it is immediately share it with me. So you're gonna share and you're going to type in my email. So and it should pop up right there. Once this pops up, all you have to do is press enter or return on your site. Okay, and then all you're gonna do right here is go down to where it says send, and it will automatically share it with me. Okay, so now when you're typing, I can see what you're doing. So California Expert Project Timeline of Events. So this is the first document you're gonna need to do. Once again, it says make a timeline of important events in California's history that relate to your topic. Use your note-taking sheet to guide you. Add more information if you need to, and remember the question you will need to answer for your essay is how was or is my person, event, location important to California history? Then use that information and write your timeline. So right here, you would type in your name. Next one, you would type in your topic. These are all the easy things. Date. Please put the due date. So you're going to type in April 5th. Um, 2020. Okay. And then down here, okay, we're going to list the date. So let's say, I'm going to write this in. Let's say this was March 5th, 1967. okay, that the first event happened. And then you would talk about what the event importance was. So maybe if we were talking about like JFK, it would have been JFK was John F. Kennedy. For those of you guys that don't know, that was a president. Okay, John F. Kennedy became president. Okay, and then we would type that in. And then the second thing, we would timeline the events listed here. Okay, so we would keep going. So you would write the date in this square. And then in this one, you would talk about what happened and why it was important. So see how I put event and then the importance? So what happened to your person in that area or whatever it is that you're studying, and why was that important? Remember, we're looking at why it was important to California's history. Okay, this is going to take some time. So, and you might have questions on this. So feel free to email me if you have questions. If you're not sure what you're doing, as long as you're sharing it with me, I can look back at your document and tell you if you're doing things correctly. Remember, I can be on at the same time you're on your document. All right, so then once you've gotten this filled out, there's 10 squares here for you. If you want to add more, you can go ahead. But I would only recommend doing 10 because I don't want you going too far and above what's expected of you, okay? I just want you to try to keep with what we're asking of you. Okay, now let's say this is done, right? I'm gonna delete this for you, Mariana. Delete this section. Okay, so I'm gonna close out of this one. The next document you're gonna need to do is historical timeline. And it's an actual timeline that is created. Now this, once again, is a template once it pulls up. And so you'll have to make a copy of this one, okay, guys? So please don't use the template. You won't be able to anyway, but once again, you'll have to go in here. Mariana's got it easy, huh? You're gonna have to go to make a copy. And then right in here where it asks you copy of, I'm gonna click right there where the H is. Delete this section and delete where it says Google Doc and template. And you're gonna type in your name again, okay? All right, and then you'll just press OK. Once your new document pops up with your name on it, make sure you keep this one up. And while this is popping up, I'm just gonna say, I will look to make sure your dates are correct. So we do need to fact check it. That's why I'm having it due on April 5th. That will give me some time to look it back over and make sure everything's correct. And then while I'm doing that, you'll be working on your essay by that point. So historical timeline, the one that was the template, make sure that you're closing that out. Okay, and only keep the one that you have your name on. All right, so once you're ready for this, you're basically just gonna fill it in how it is. Before you start off, make sure that you're clicking on share. Make sure that you share it with me. Okay, once again, Misty's 4th grade. And then you just click send. Okay, now on this timeline, all you're gonna need to do here is type in your name here. Okay, so make your type in your name right there. And then you're gonna take the events. Now here's the cool thing. This is already done for you. So you can list the dates how you want. All you would do is you can go into this section, right? And we can delete the date that we wrote in here. So whatever date you need right here, you can delete that, what I had, and put, like, for instance, what we put on Mariana's first one, which was March 5th, 1967. Okay, let's say we did that. Okay, and then we would list what happened here, right? Because it's linked. So right here, it's not Martin Luther King Day. We might put JFK became president, okay? And we would type that in. So then you get to use this really cool template to make your project, okay? You will need to do this in this format. Please don't change it or try it. Also on the title, I'm sorry guys, I forgot, but right here, delete where it says template. And then right next to there, write your topic in, okay? So make sure you're typing your topic in and ignore this part. You can just click got it if that comes up. Okay? You can tap anywhere on that screen and it'll take that box away that was up there, okay? So once again, you're gonna use this timeline after you've done the timeline list. Okay, so first do the timeline list, make sure you have everything in order correctly in the way you want it, from the date that was the earliest to the date that was the oldest. Okay, so number 10 should be the oldest date. Then you take this information and you transfer it over to here, okay, into this cool template. And the reason we're doing this, we're actually gonna make a PowerPoint, and I haven't decided if I'm doing regular PowerPoint or if you're gonna do a Prezi. So both of those are really cool to do, but you need to have a lot of digital things so that they're already pre-done. Okay, so these are just steps. And the mission, I gave you steps to do. You're doing the same thing with your California Expert Project. You're giving me steps. Okay, once again, if you have any questions, you can always contact me, and I can walk you through things. If you think that you're not on the right track with your timeline, you can always ask me to check it. As long as it's shared with me, with that share button, I should be able to see it, and I can even help you out with it. If you need to go back to it, let's say you can't find it and you're frantic, right? So here's your document, but you're not gonna finish this in one day probably, and if you do, more power to you. Okay, always remember that you can go to, I'm gonna type this in so you see it, docs.google.com. Okay, see how that looks? So if you need to pause it. Docs.google.com. Press enter. Okay, and it will come up as long as you're logged into your email. This is how you check if you're logged into your email. It should have your little thing, and you can always click on this icon to check to see if that's you. Okay, down here, you will see all the documents that I've shared with you, that you have, that you've done. Okay, so remember that you can always find them, and you can always just go in here, but make sure, see how it has template, because I've shared the template with you. Make sure you do the one that you were chosen, or that you made. Okay, so the copy that you made is the one you need to pull up, not the template. Same thing on this one, on timeline list. Make sure you're working on your template, not the one that I gave you. Okay, so it shouldn't say template at all. It should say your name by the time you've done this. Okay, if you have any questions, please email me, or have mom and dad contact me, whatever you need to do in order to get this done. You will have 2 weeks. So if you look at the date, today's date is the 24th. Okay, you have all the way until the 5th to get both timeline formats done and sent over to me. Okay, so you have 2 weeks. And then right after that, you start your essay, but part of this you go on to spring break anyway. Okay? All right, so email me if you need to. You're gonna have questions, that's okay, and I will try to send out videos to help you a little bit more with this, but in the meantime, at least we get you started. All right? You can even have me fact check with you, so just let me know what you need on my end. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.